Hey everyone, I'm Tanishq and I'm building Intelligent. Today we will go on the behind the scenes journey of intelligence design and design philosophy and what makes the platform look good, what is something that people are liking. Most of the feedback that I've talked to people, there's been a common thread of the way they like intelligence design, the way it makes them feel, everything. So I've tried to break those feelings down into a few points that I think will be beneficial to you if you use those principles that we're going to speak about in your apps, and you can just 100x the experience instantly. So let's go. Let's talk about the philosophy of design behind Intelligent. When I first started building the platform, my initial thought was people find data really boring. They do that. I mean, not just boring, but also overwhelming in nature. So my idea was what to do with that. How do I make it more exciting? And it's very important because even on the days when their performance is not good, it's even worse to look at data. So the idea was, how can I make it exciting? The obvious answer was to make it feel really alive, to make the platform feel like it's there, that something is there, it's understanding you. And how can we do that? The obvious answer was add motion, and not just any kind of motion or any kind of animation on the platform which are independently running. No, the motion needs to be very, very defined. The motion needs to have a sense of why in it, and that is one of the first and the most important principles of intelligence design. I call that conscious designing. We'll look at the examples of this conscious designing of the platform when I demo it further. But this is, I feel, is the most important part of intelligent design. To be able to design with a huge and very finer why in my mind. And that's a requirement. That's a requirement that everyone should do, because then design acts more as an engineering output than as a novelty output. So, and that's one thing. And the second one, the bonus that I'm going to give today is delight engineering. I think these are like small packets of chocolate that you hand out to your users for using your platform, which is something that they enjoy. The little hits of dopamine that they keep on getting when they use your platform. So let's see them in action. I think when we first begin, you see that the platform is otherwise has no motion in it, except for my GIF over here. But as soon as user starts to interact with the platform, interact with the elements, they start to feel alive. They start to feel, it might feel unnecessary, but this is a great way to make a platform feel alive, to have reactionary motion components in your platform. So I think that's what's important. And what are the examples of delight engineering in this? I mean, if you just click on this platform, you can just go to intelligence page and far faster. I think this is an example of delight engineering, but we'll see more of them. Now, in terms of conscious designing, it also takes in consideration of some of the most accepted standards. For example, this entire page has just one primary call to action, which is to access dashboard, taking away the cognitive load from the user. They don't have to think too much. They perform the action faster. So let's access the dashboard. And as soon as you first get into the platform, you see that the animation by which they appear has some motion. Now, as the user interacts with everything, they would continue to see that conscious engineering. I know when you hover over this, you would want to see the amount of cars in particular detail. When you come to this platform, you see that it's appearing for you as you're scrolling. This is another factor where it adds subconsciously in your mind to let people know that things are happening because they're doing it. This increases the participation subconsciousness in users' mind towards your platform. So they feel a lot more invested and integrated to your platform. So that, apart from that, and also doing the basics fine, such as giving the spaces proper, padding to breathe, using colors which are complementary and in nature. So I've been getting a lot of feedback about how recast and likes have the same color tone, and they would want to see it differently. And I do agree to their philosophy, but I also know where this platform is going, how I'm going to add a few more things onto this engagement chart. When that happens, you would see that likes and recasts fall into the same category of mind, which is engagement. And if it was my control, if it were up to me, I would just make them all the same altogether. So and if you let's try to use this platform more. So as you see, I'm using this platform. The animations which are happening after the user's performing certain action feels very, very in sync. And it's difficult. I mean, if you see what's happening, you'll see this chart appears faster than this chart. And the reason for that is this object is smaller. The mini chart has much less weighted power in user's mind, weight in user's mind than this big chart. So the animations follow that path. You see the mini charts appearing much, much faster than you see the heavier charts coming. Similarly, if you see, these come much faster than compared to the other big casts. And another example of conscious engineering is giving this feedback in terms of spaces. I think it's very common in all of us to expand the thing that we're working on. I wanted to give that sense over here once again. So, and you see that most of it appearing all across the platform. And I think another factors of delight engineering is that they don't have to think about doing something otherwise. For example, if people are prone to clicking on the user profile to go to the profile, you can just quickly do that over here too. I mean, you can just quickly do that here too. So That's easy. That's very fun to use, and that's something that you would want to add in your platform again and again and again. So, and of course, explainers, giving them context wherever necessary and stuff. Okay, it's also because I've been working on this platform so long that a lot of things are invisible to me, but there are. For example, adding the context of pricing indirectly within it. Another example that I would love to show is how it affects on phone. I think it's very common knowledge that building graphs on phone are absolutely dangerous and terrible thing to do. I mean, it scares them. So I did not want to compromise in certain section. So I've been taking the help of vertical alignment. If you see, these cards have different width, different structure in the way they're positioned onto this platform or onto the mobile segment than on the desktop segment. Similarly, we have unique views with which people can integrate and interact with this possible graph, which is, let's say you can click to expand it, and you can then check your data all that you can on phone and together, and of course you can just go to contracted view. Now, I don't know if you notice this. This is the conscious design that I'm talking about. So if you can see, the position of the arrow is very crucial in this option. It immediately responds to what the current context is. Yeah, and I think this is casually the way we have been doing. The entire set of animations right now focuses on spinning animation, because spinning is the closest that I could think of in terms of playfulness that the platform can bring upon to itself. So let's go. Let's try to see some more things into design, into delight engineering. Few things. So yeah, one of the other conscious designing factor that I just recalled is how the platform, when the metrics are doing well, give you, I've spoken about this on Farcaster before, but how the metrics when you are doing well defaults to green and shows you that there is growth. But if it's a negative sentiment, if the growth is negative, it does not default to red, which I think a lot of people do make mistake of doing. It demotivates user. It conveys a negative sense of something. So we don't want to do that. So it defaults back to grayscale over here instead of the red. I've taken this cue from Rainbow's engineering. I think it's one of the best cues that I've taken from there. And I think that's pretty much it. I think now you would want to see what's next with Intelligent, and that's we're coming up with apps. We are back with the apps, and this is launching by the end of this week, most probably, and a few more surprises for everyone who is subscribed to Intelligent right now. I hope you liked this two conscious designing and delight engineering gifts that I was trying to convey, and let me know what you think about it. Thank you so much.